What if Springtrap was in Smash Bros? Hopefully, I don't get stinking. I'm scared to do these because of the freaking copyright thing on YouTube. But, I'll do it anyway, it's fine. So, Brawlfriend's channel's gonna be in my description, and my Twitter, and my gaming channel. Go show this guy love. Like, his ideas are awesome. Oh no. Man, I love horror. Horror is one of my favorite things. Also, I forgot to mention that, if anyone has any reaction requests, follow my Twitter. Let me know on Twitter if anyone has any reaction requests, because I'll do them. You'll get a shout out if I do it. So just let me know, and I'll do it. And hey, free shout out, right? That's a lot of votes.
Just a heads up, there will not be any jump scares in this video.
Thank you.
Don't worry, I hate them too. That said, the content of this character may still be pretty unsettling to some people, and I will also be taking the color away from certain pieces of footage. Overall, viewer discretion is advised.
Well, there it is. If you don't like scary stuff, click off now. I'll give you like 5 seconds. You still here? Okay, just warned you.
The corpse of a serial killer who died in the suit that his spirit now haunts. William Afton, aka Springtrap. To summarize, William Afton was the one responsible for the murders of several children at Fazbear's Pizzeria and hid their bodies in the mascot animatronics. He probably didn't account for the spirits of his victims to possess the animatronics though, so he dismantled them. But all this did was release the spirits to haunt Afton, and in desperation, he hid inside of a spring-lock rabbit suit, a device that's designed to be either an animatronic or a costume that people can wear after locking the endoskeleton of the animatronic to the walls of the suit. An interesting multi-purpose design for sure, but it's also a very dangerous one, because if the locks were to ever malfunction, they snap back into place, ultimately skewering any unlucky sap who happens to be wearing the suit. And this is exactly what happened to Afton. Between the combination of the suit being wet and his erratic movements during his efforts to hide from the spirits, the locks malfunctioned and his life ended. But despite this, someone as evil as William Afton doesn't give up that easily. After 30 years, his corpse still inside the suit was discovered while the new owners were renovating the ruins of Fazbear's Pizza into a horror attraction. This awoke Afton's spirit, still trapped in the Springlock Bonnie suit, and now known as Springtrap. A new form that better fits the true monster that he is. Springtrap is ready to pick up where he left off, both in the security guard room as well as in the world of Super Smash Bros. So getting right into things, Springtrap would be a very heavy character with slightly sluggish mobility, but he would have some pretty great jumps due to the fact that he is in a rabbit suit. He'd have 2 of those great jumps, and he would be able to crawl, just like we see him do when he's sneaking through the ventilation shafts.
Oh, that crawl is horrifying. I love it. Okay, I got an ad. And we're 3 minutes and 25 seconds into this. Okay, now, all synced up, I hope.
Before I talk
Yeah,
about
yes.
Springtrap's attacks, I should go over a lot of the general theming that I used when building this moveset. There are some similarities to what I did for Freddy, but there are going to be some core differences as well. Springtrap will still have the theme of horror, of course, having attacks that, while not necessarily scary for the players, would be terrifying in theory for his opponents that'll be face to face with Springtrap. I am going to be using some rabbit themes due to his costume, but I won't be emphasizing that as much as I did for Freddy's bear theming, because whereas Freddy was being haunted by the spirit of a child, Springtrap is being haunted by the spirit of a killer. And that's one of the things that I think should be most emphasized in this moveset, the theme of the killer brought back from the dead. So with that said, starting with Springtrap's jab, he'll have a 2-hit jab that can lead into a rapid jab. The 2 jabs will be straight punches forwards from each arm one at a time, but the second punch will be thrown above the first punch. I made his jab specifically like this to reference the sprite of the purple guy, the alias of William Afton's silhouette. As for the rapid jab, this could have him do a rapid flurry of bites from his mouth. Springtrap isn't that much of a biter, but he does have it as an attack in FNAF World, and it can also reference his jump scare animation from Ultimate Custom Night. His dash attack can be a leaping drop kick. This attack doesn't immediately come out when the move is initiated. Instead, he'll leap forwards while pulling his legs in, then mid-flight, kick both feet forwards with massive force like he's unhinging a spring. This move is powerful, but the amount of start and end lag does make it very risky to use. The side tilt can have Springtrap do a quick slashing hand chop forwards from high left to low right. This is another move that comes out quick and has some deceptive KO potential. It partially references the slasher attack that Purple Guy can use in FNAF World. Springtrap's up tilt can be a 2-hit attack that can have him reach both arms straight upwards one at a time in an almost grabbing-like motion. This is another strong move that comes from the idea of a monster trying to reach up to grab you from below, or even the notion of a zombie trying to dig out of its own grave. The down tilt can have Springtrap do a reaching grab forward, slightly slamming his hand on the ground as he does so. It's a move that comes out quick and can either launch foes at low angles or trip them if they were at low damage percents. This also comes from the idea of the monster trying to grab you. In this case though, it's when they try to grab your ankles during your attempt to flee. Springtrap's side smash can be a powerful flailing and tearing 3-hit strike. He swings one arm from high to low forwards, then does the same with the other arm, then ends by doing a strong tearing motion forwards by pulling both arms away from each other. The first 2 strikes rack up the damage and make it harder for foes to escape. Then they take huge damage from that final tearing attack. The idea of this move comes from when Afton tore the animatronics apart in his desperation. The up smash can have Springtrap swing both of his arms above himself at the same time from out to in. Another attack that looks like he's trying to catch something that's above himself, but this time he's trying to grab something that's a little bigger. Like a whole body, perhaps? It's another slow move, but it has quite a bit of horizontal range on top of great vertical distance. The down smash can be a simple Quake Stomp attack, where he jumps, then smashes the ground with both feet, causing the ground around Springtrap to launch foes into the air. This move can allow Springtrap to dodge lower attacks while he's mid-jump, but since it's a grounded move, it can only hit opponents who are actually standing on the ground. For the neutral aerial, it can have Springtrap extend his limbs out for a strong, lingered full body attack. It's strongest right at the start, and quickly weakens until the attack concludes. The forward air can be an auto 2-hit attack where Springtrap kicks both feet forwards one after another from low to straight forwards. Both kicks are able to launch foes forwards. The back air can have Springtrap quickly lean backwards to swing his head from high to straight back, smacking foes with the back of his head. His ears will extend the range, but they act as a bit of a sour spot, whereas hitting closer foes directly with his head is much more deadly. The up air can be a simple backwards to forwards headbutt. The same rules from the back air do apply here for the ears. And the down air can be a simple double rabbit stomp, kicking both feet straight downwards and spiking any poor sucker hit by its sweet spot.
I like it.
Springtrap will grab with one arm and pummel by nibbling at the foe's frontal lobe. The forward throw can be a simple lifting overhead toss forwards. The back throw can have Springtrap drag the foe's face through the dirt past him to chuck them behind. The up throw can be a simple throw upwards, and the down throw can have Springtrap do one of the scariest things of all: bury the foe by stomping them into the dirt. Cause as I said before, nothing in Smash is scarier than being buried.
True. That was stupid Royce commercial. Okay, we're back.
For Springtrap's neutral special, I'm going to give him an attack that I call Spring Jaw. This will be a special that harkens back to the very bite of 87 itself. I realize that was Fredbear who did that, but for those who were unaware, that bear animatronic was also in fact a spring lock suit, and the reason the bite happened at all was because of a lock failure in the jaw. So since it's the same kind of suit, not to mention a core piece to Afton's motivations as a whole from what I understand,
Was that the bite of 87?
I think it'd be appropriate to give him this kind of special
That was
attack.
stupid.
Holding down the special button will have Springtrap just hold an idle stance, and while in this state, he gains a massive amount of armor. He cannot be launched by any attack, and he'll remain like this for as long as you hold the button down. He can't move though, and he can also be grabbed out of it. He does also still take normal damage, he just can't be launched. However, taking damage is exactly what you want to happen while you're in this armored state. When he takes damage from attacks, his jaw slowly unhinges, with it opening wider and wider with each attack that he sustains. And after taking a total of 10 attacks, Springtrap will retaliate with a massive bite. In terms of the mechanics of this move, it's an accumulation type of special. He doesn't need to take all 10 attacks in one sitting. So if you take a hit while armored, you can choose to let go of the special button to do other things. Then if you activate the armor and get hit a second time, that's now 2 out of the 10 needed hits. The counter for attacks does not reset by letting go of the button. It only resets either after unleashing the bite or if Springtrap loses a stock. And on top of that, Springtrap remembers how much damage he took from each specific hit that he armors through. And as revenge, when he retaliates with that bite, it deals damage equal to the total damage of all 10 of the attacks combined. Despite all that though, it is still a simple move to get around. As I said, grabbing helps, and using projectiles can also keep you safe to waste the bite if need be. But regardless, it's overall a scary move, allowing Springtrap to break combos and to even save himself from lethal attacks, all the while making your foes stay on their toes and to do their best to avoid having a repeat of the bite of 87. Now next up for the side special. This can be a command grab special that I'm going to call Spring Lock. A simple name, but appropriate for its functions. It has Springtrap leap forwards while at the same time locking the endoskeleton in his body, putting himself into the suit mode. And if a really unlucky foe is in Springtrap's way, Springtrap will latch onto them, and once he does, unlocks the endoskeleton and deals an asinine amount of damage,
Looks like he's
effectively using his own cause of death as a weapon, but in a much less brutal and way more safe for the good boys and girls at home sort of way. This move has no KO potential. It only deals that massive damage while slightly popping foes away after Springtrap releases them. Aside from that, this move can be used for horizontal recovery, and if a foe is caught in the air by Springtrap, they both will fall as the animation of the spring lock plays out. But this is still safer for the foe than Springtrap, since the foe is popped up, and Springtrap has a bit of end lag to deal with, so he'd be a bit more pressed to recover. Speaking of recovery, for his up special, it is going to be the same camera change special that I gave to Freddy, the idea that my friend Devin gave me. It's a teleport where Springtrap disappears behind some static that only appears in front of him, and that static reappears in a new spot a fixed distance away, with Springtrap also reappearing behind the static after it blinks out. Overall referencing how the cameras work in the various Five Nights at Freddy's games, where you look through the different monitors and might see an animatronic, but then you could look away and suddenly see that same animatronic in a totally new spot. It's no different for Springtrap in Five Nights at Freddy's 3. You can move into any direction based on controller input, and he does go into freefall after using it. And finally, for the down special, this is going to have Springtrap take advantage of by far the most terrifying thing that you need to watch out for in Five Nights 3. The Phantoms. Allow me a quick explanation. In Five Nights at Freddy's 3, the game where Springtrap debuted and is the sole animatronic for you to worry about, you were stuck in this poorly ventilated security room with faulty wiring and equipment. On occasion, the equipment could break, and you needed to reboot it in order to be able to use it again to keep yourself safe. One of these important pieces of equipment was the ventilation itself, because if that broke, it could start causing the security guard to hallucinate, which makes it much easier for Springtrap to get a hold of them. And something that makes keeping up with the ventilation that much harder are the phantoms of the previous animatronics. Randomly throughout the nights, triggers will appear that, if you stare at them for too long, will cause a phantom of one of the animatronics to jump scare you. And if that happens, then it automatically disables your ventilation, and you'll need to get it back up quickly before Springtrap makes his way into the room. How I'd like to integrate the phantoms into this moveset for Springtrap is for him to use them in the same way that they're used in Five Nights 3, to make it easier for him to get his hands on you. When Down Special is activated, Springtrap will conjure a random phantom that flies straight forwards a short distance. This phantom is just that, a phantom. It cannot be interrupted, stopped, or even reflected. It just goes until it disappears. But just like in Five Nights 3, it'll only affect opponents who stare directly at it. In other words, it'll only work on those that it hits from the front. If a foe's back is to Springtrap's phantom, then it will fail. It'll also fail if the foe is shielding, since most characters do generally cover their face when they shield. Overall, don't look at it. Look away, cover your face, or just get out of dodge. Because if you do look at the phantom, then it will curse you. This is a special kind of curse. Depending on the animatronic, it'll randomly curse one of your attacks, and you won't know which attack was cursed until you use it, which by then, it'll be too late. Using the cursed attack will force your character into a longer than usual dizzy state, as if they're hallucinating. It won't even let the cursed attack be used. The curse literally just replaces the randomly selected attack, causing the hallucinating dizzy state to activate automatically. It can even proc in the air, which will cause you to just fall helplessly, then be dizzy after you hit the ground. Again, the attack that gets cursed is random. However, you can always have a general idea of what kind of attack was hit by paying attention to which phantom it was that cursed you, which is also random. Springtrap can summon one of 5 random phantoms. First, there's Phantom Freddy, which can curse one of your grounded basic attacks. Then there's Phantom Chica, who can curse one of your aerial basic attacks. Then there's Phantom Foxy, who can curse one of your throws. Next is Phantom Balloon Boy, who curses one of your special attacks. And finally, there's the Phantom Marionette, which appears less often than the other 4, but has the capabilities of cursing any attack. And before you ask, I'm not including Phantom Mangle, there's no need. With all of that said, there are of course some limitations. Only one curse can be placed on a player at a time, and the curse will be lifted on its own after 7 seconds, after which the cursed move will return to normal. But even still, this is a move to set in true fear. Are you willing to risk using a certain move that may or may not be cursed? Or will you avoid using any of those attacks until you know it's safe? Overall, with the exception of the Up Special kinda, Springtrap specials are all designed to fit into another major theme that fits not only into Springtrap, but Five Nights at Freddy's 3 as well. Fear through malfunction. Have you ever had a dream or even a real-life instance where you need to rely on something for a dire situation, but for some reason that something just breaks?
Yes.
That's where this comes from. The audio, camera, and ventilation that can all malfunction at any time, leaving you vulnerable. The story of how William Afton dismantled the other animatronics, leaving behind their phantoms, which can also cause malfunctions to not only your equipment, but to your psyche. But then there's the most important malfunction of all. The malfunction that killed William Afton. So with these specials, you can break combos and will with the neutral special, break spines and damage percents with the side special, and break your opponent's spirit and confidence in their own attacks with the down special. Make them fear you. Leave them afraid.
I like that. That's a good idea. Okay. Final Smash ought to be interesting. Final Smash is going to be interesting. I like that Phantom idea.
Springtrap can have a cinematic Final Smash that references the one instance where he wins.
Okay, hold up. Everything's out of sync. You don't want
The game over. Springtrap will release phantoms that fly into all directions, and if at most a single player is hit by them, that player will be pulled in. It then shows the caught foe in the same security guard room as Five Nights 3, but all the systems are down and they're suffering through a dreadful hallucination. We then just see Springtrap slowly walk up from behind, and when he gets close, the screen just fades to black, and the foe in that darkness will suffer massive damage, ending the cinematic. This final smash will not launch foes, but if their damage goes over 100%, then needless to say, they did not make it to 6 a.m.
Okay, I want to hear that one again. I kind of like zoned out during that one.
Let me lay this one on the table real quick. Over 100%
Springtrap. Like,
these phantoms
spirits
spirit and confident in their own attacks with the down special. Make them fear you. Leave them afraid.
Okay, here we go. Let's listen to it again. I got distracted.
Springtrap can have a cinematic final smash that references the one instance where he wins. The game over. Springtrap will release phantoms that fly into all directions, and if at most a single player is hit by them, that player will be pulled in. It then shows the caught foe in the same security guard room as Five Nights 3, but all the systems are down and they're suffering through a dreadful hallucination. We then just see Springtrap slowly walk up from behind, and when he gets close, the screen just fades to black, and the foe in that darkness will suffer massive damage, ending the cinematic. This final smash will not launch foes, but if their damage goes over 100%, then needless to say, they did not make it to 6 a.m.
I like that. I really like that one.
Let me lay this one on the table real quick. This would not fly in Smash.
Nope.
It's not even a matter of it being too creepy. It's just straight up gruesome. There is a rotting corpse inside that thing. I know Freddy had one too, but at least it was well hidden. You could actually see what's left of Afton here. If by some miracle Springtrap were to be added to Smash, he would need a redesign of some kind that would make it safe for all the good boys and girls.
You could see
I
the
suppose
body.
using a non-cheapified version of Springtrap's FNAF world design might be acceptable, but still. Regardless, for colors, the default is the decaying yellow color. His first ult can make the suit purple, referencing William Afton as the purple guy, as well as the toxic Springtrap skin from the Five Nights at Freddy's AR game. Then we can have a pale blue color, in reference to Bonnie from the first Five Nights at Freddy's game. Next is the pure black, referencing RWQFSFASXC, also known as Shadow Bonnie for those of us who actually like being able to pronounce names. Then there's a bright yellow, referencing the Spring Bonnie suit back when it was still mint. Then a bright blue color, referencing Toy Bonnie. Then there's pink, referencing Bonnet.
Okay, cool.
And finally, we can use the other skin that Springtrap has in the AR game, which is literally just Springtrap, but on fire! I kid you not, there is literally a skin called Flaming Springtrap. I wouldn't be surprised if this references the fact that Springtrap keeps ending up in buildings that burn to the ground, but regardless, this would be a fun costume to have. For the stage intro, it can simply have Springtrap walk out of the shadows, ready to scare the living daylights out of people. For Taunts, his first can show his body violently twitching, referencing his death scene as well as just showing him being unsettling in general. For his second, out of nowhere you'll hear the Balloon Boy's laughter, and Springtrap gets distracted and looks around, trying to figure out where it came from. This references how you use Balloon Boy's voice to lure Springtrap to different rooms to try to keep him away from the security room. And for his final taunt, it can show him very creepily bobbing up and down, left and right, mimicking the sprite of the original Spring Bonnie. And finally, for victory animations, his first can just show a telephone sitting on the ground ringing, until suddenly Springtrap's foot comes down and smashes it. The camera then pans up to Springtrap's face as he just stares into the camera.
Oh.
His second can literally just have Springtrap walk up to the camera, get close, and just stare into it, looking into your soul. This one can be a reference to his general jump scare animation. Even though it's not really much of a jump scare, it's just really creepy. And his final can show pieces of all the other animatronics lying on the ground, and you see Springtrap's back as he's tearing Freddy's arm off of his body, after which he looks over his shoulder and just stares into the camera. This references how Afton tore the other animatronics apart, as well as his overall nature as the serial killer that he truly is.
That was awesome. That was really awesome.
And that does it for What If Springtrap was in Smash. Oh boy, what do I even say about this one? Talk about another case of a character that I'm sure would be interesting in Smash, but will no doubt certainly never be a part of it.
I love it.
Well. That's why I enjoy thinking about these hypotheticals. There is no limit to how much you could think of for the near limitless number of fictional characters that people watch and play with every single day.
This dude put
Even if some are a lot
here.
more, yeah, I think you know what I mean. Anyways, if you enjoyed what you saw and would like to see even more characters be given possible Smash movesets, be sure to subscribe. And if you want to support the show and help me be able to make more content for you guys, you can click the join button either below the video or my main page to become a sponsor for my channel. Doing so will get you access to my private Discord as well as channel emotes. You can guarantee that your name appears in my videos, or even get the option of knowing what if character is coming up next a week in advance. I'd really appreciate anything that can be contributed. And of course, if you have a character that you want to see be given a possible Smash moveset, leave a comment down below or contact me on Twitter at BrawlFan1 on Twit. I hope you all enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching!
I love this guy. Thank you for not putting any jump scares. I really appreciate that, because I have my headphones on full blast. So that really makes it better. But wait, I was originally planning to do the Crash Bandicoot one. I'm looking for his channel now. I don't know what else kind of Wonder could watch. Oh right, look at that! Super freaking replied to me. Oh yeah, let's go and look at that tweet, Celery. Come on, load up. Okay, my phone's just acting weird. It's stupid. It's fine. That was fun, though. That was a lot of fun, actually. I like these videos. Go subscribe to this guy. He's fun. He's a good guy to watch.